immigrants and trans folks. We must include and our collective understanding of Trump's power grab. I used to do homeless street outreach in the very parks Trump is targeting. People lived in these parks not because they wanted to be there, but because housing was too expensive and shelters were full. These folks, like most homeless people in D.C., are from D.C. They do their best they can to survive in a city and in a country where politicians would rather remove them than help them. In these parks, I saw the best in people. Folks struggling to get by built community and supported each other. And I even saw a few clients move into housing with the supports they needed and wanted. These folks thrived. They got their lives back on track. They got healthy, and they didn't live outside anymore. We need housing and support, not handcuffs and a military takeover. The solution to homelessness is housing. The solution to authoritarianism is solidarity. We need both. Free DC.
Good afternoon, fellow advocates, colleagues, and friends. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you today. It is for civil rights and political rallies and speeches since the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., including a protest of Donald Trump's inauguration in 2017 for police brutality here in Washington, D.C. I am Wesley Thomas, a member of Murray's Kitchen Guest Advisory Board and ardent homeless advocate. From 1988 to 2017, I was homeless, living and sleeping on the streets of Washington, D.C. Now I dedicate significant time, effort, and energy to seeing that others do not fall into being chronically homeless. Since housed, I've been able to help 48 people put keys in their own apartments. I know what it's like to be victimized firsthand. I have 29 years of lived experience. You disperse a homeless encampment, you make things more dangerous for people. People who sleep in encampments do so for safety. Now, Donald Trump is exercising his authoritarian rule. We have 2,000 plus federal officers on the street and 3 more on the way. ICE, DEA, FBI, ATF, and some we probably never even heard of, toting guns. Are we at war? No. The objective of being here is to fight violent crimes in Washington, D.C. The unhoused are not enemy combatants. I have witnessed them being harassed, bullied, maced, and further traumatized and frightened by their own government. Why? I'm here to advocate to be that voice for someone's mother, father, sister, or brother. This needs to cease and desist. Would you not agree? The federal government, listen to this, pays for hotels and food for the National Guard being deployed here, which is estimated to cost $1 million a day. I want to repeat that, $1 million a day times 30. Yet, in the D.C. fiscal 26 budget, there is no money for permanent supportive housing for homeless people. None, zero. Leaving on the streets here. So I ask my colleagues and friends present here today, how many permanent supportive housing vouchers can be acquired from funding issued for these federal officers here? It could house everyone, couldn't it? So I join you in solidarity today. The unhoused here in the nation's capital deserve better. We can do better. Housing, not handcuffs. Thank you.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. 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 Woo! Help me in welcoming Kare with United We Dream. Hi everyone, my name is Kari or Kari. Hola a todos. I'm here with United We Dream Action, and these are my people, my crew, my group. I couldn't do that without them, so shout out to them. the daughter of Black and Latinx immigrants, a college student, and advocate, and as John Lewis once said, I am not afraid to make good trouble. I am not afraid of making white supremacy shake. I'm not afraid of challenging the white fragility of this country. I am not afraid of tearing down fascist regimes and agendas that choose to seek and colonize my people. I am from Baltimore, so DC has always been in my backyard, and like so many of you, I now have the privilege of calling this place my home. And let it be known to the administration and to the rest of the world that hatred will not exist in our home. Your anti-constitutional antics will not exist in our home. The sanctioned kidnapping and abduction of my people will not exist in our home. The occupation and militarization will not exist in our home. From DC to Chicago to my city in Baltimore and to our brother and sisters abroad in Gaza, we stand with you. We resist occupation and militarization of our homes. Being a student in DC, studying international relations and political science, I spend my days reading about authoritarianism, about fascism, about militarism. But I didn't realize that I would be witnessing it unfold in front of my eyes. It's one thing to study it. It's another thing to watch it happen to the people and the communities you love. Done by a nation that so gallantly proclaims freedom and a nation that prides itself for justice and liberty. But for who? For who? Because freedom doesn't look like ICE strategically raiding our schools and our neighborhoods. Freedom doesn't look like targeting and criminalizing innocent Black youth. Freedom doesn't look like wasting our tax dollars to fund your theoretical terror on cities. I refuse to be a bystander. I refuse to be compliant or complicit to the dehumanization of my people. And while I grieve the way this administration treats my communities and the way they have harmed my cities, I stand confidently in the power and the presence of the people. Because the people, el pueblo, throughout history and across all movements, across all borders and countries, we have been the ones to curate radical change and revolution. And so together we will do it for every city, for every corner of the country, and also for the world, because our struggles and oppression are shared, and our liberation shall be a victory for all of humanity. I want to take a moment to share a quick story with you all. Just last Sunday, I went to Columbia Heights with my mom, and that neighborhood holds a special place in my heart. It's a community empowered by immigrants, homes filled with beautiful Black and brown families and bodies. It's a place of life, of different languages, of prosperity and vibrancy. It's where I go to volunteer with my roommates. It's where some of the best hole-in-the-wall food spots are. And right off the metro, it's where street vendors sell chamoy, fruta, taquitos, papas con salsa, and other goods. On a regular day, you will see dozens of vendors lined up on the sidewalks close to that metro. Last weekend, there was only about two. I asked ¿Qué pasó? And a vendor responded saying that they were either taken by ICE or too afraid to show up. Terrified to do their life's work that paid their rent, work that put food on their table, work that supported their families. So when ICE descended into our city, it didn't scatter the criminals. They scattered innocent, hard-working people. This military occupation was never about safety. It was never about reducing crime. They don't give a damn about Black and brown bodies. It was never about making the city safe for us. Safe cities don't have tanks. Safe cities don't have armed military vigilance. Safe cities don't have convicted felons as leaders. True safety and protection of our cities is brought through the love, empathy, and the collective liberation of our people. So I'm here to tell the administration that we are DC. Say that with me. We are DC. We are not just a situation of complete lawlessness. We are not a capital of just crime and bloodshed. We are immigrants, the children of immigrants, street vendors, restaurant owners, small business owners, Uber drivers, teachers, caretakers, workers, the youth. We are DC. Nosotros somos DC. Not your troops, not your tanks, not your federal agents, not your military parades, not any of your damn presents. And so today we stand, DC, stand united with Baltimore, with Chicago, with Seattle, with Palestine, because we and our people are worth fighting for. Our cities are worth fighting for. Our communities are worth fighting for. Our collective liberation across all people and countries' borders is worth fighting for. So I leave you with one final message. Look around. Take a look to your left. Take a look to your right. This is your community. This people, this collective, this city, this beautiful, beautiful city is what we're fighting for. Hold on to that and never let go. Thank you, Free DC. Thank you.
All right, Karen, United We Dream Action. Thank y'all so much. Next up, we have Jaime Contreras, Executive Vice President of 32BJ SEIU.
When I say, what do we want? You say, DC statehood. What do we want? DC statehood. What do we want? DC statehood. What do we want? DC statehood. And if we don't get it, and if we don't get it, and if we don't get it, all right, you guys still got it after a long, long march. All of our members across all of our unions on the stage, right here, from those who clean all these buildings around you and protect them, federal buildings, commercial office buildings, they work at airports, construction workers who build our cities. I know the trades are here, the painters, those who host residents and tourists at restaurants and hotels. I know you're not here. It's in the house. Those who teach our children, NEA, Washington Teachers Union, I know they're here as well. And those who you usually don't see unless you go to a government building, those who are always committed to serving the public behind the scenes, federal workers. I know I saw ASBE out here. I know I saw other public sector workers like NTEU in the house. There's all these unions out here today. All of our union members are united with one demand. We want this federal occupation to end, and we want it to end now. Todos los miembros de todos los sindicatos que estamos acá, estamos para demandar que se termine la ocupación de Washington y que dejen nuestra gente inmigrante vivir y trabajar en paz. I'll leave it with this. DC workers deserve better, so we demand better. As a country, we are better than this. To my fellow military men and women in uniform who are walking our streets, I'm going to say, I'm sorry that you're being put in this position. I know many of you are asking, what the hell am I doing on the streets of Washington, D.C.? We will not be silenced. We will not stop raising our voices until the District of Columbia residents reclaim their rightful autonomy. We know by experience in the labor movement that when we fight together, we win together. When we fight, When we fight. When we fight. Lastly, I'm going to introduce a worker who's one of those impacted workers, many impacted workers, a member of Unite Here, a hotel and restaurant worker. Please welcome Leslie Ventura, who's going to say a few words. Leslie.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Leslie Ventura. He trabajado en esta ciudad por más de 7 años. Nunca me había sentido tan insegura como ahora.
I'm Leslie Ventura. I've never felt so insecure as I do today after working in the cities for how many years? 7 years.
Muchos de los trabajadores de la industria restaurantera y hotelera y todos los demás están siendo afectados. Y los más afectados somos nosotros los trabajadores.
Our members, my co-workers in the industry are being affected, and those are always affected the most are the workers.
Las personas no quieren visitar la ciudad de DC porque ellos tienen miedo al ver la ciudad llena de militares y policías.
People are afraid to come to our city because they see the city occupied by the military and police and federal agents.
El restaurante donde yo he trabajado y organicé, muchos de mis compañeros se quedaron sin trabajo porque no hay negocio. Y esto no es justo, esto no puede seguir pasando. Y uno de ellos, la última semana, lo detenieron cuando él iba a su trabajo a las 7 de la mañana y ahora está esperando su deportación. Y esto no puede continuar.
Shame! That's right, shame. She says workers are afraid to come to work. People are afraid to come to work. People are losing their jobs because the industry has no people eating at these restaurants. And just last week, one of her co-workers got detained by ICE, and now it's waiting deportation. Boo and shame on you, Donald Trump.
Necesitamos llevar una vida tranquila y en paz y en libertad. Y unidos es como venceremos. ¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí! ¡Sí! So now, it is my honor, gracias, Leslie, and yes, we have had members in 32BJ as well who have been stopped by federal agents. So I'm going to say one more chant, and that goes like this. Donald Trump, shame on you. Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Shame on you! Shame on you! So we demand that Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, grow some spine and reject any further erosion of democracy in D.C., just as they would do in their own districts. We demand Donald and the Trump administration removes the National Guard from our streets, not tomorrow, now. We are lucky in Washington to have some local elected leaders who get it, who support us, who are behind us, who defend us. So it is my honor to introduce to you Ward 4 Councilwoman Janice Lewis George to the stage. Let's give her a warm welcome.
When I say free, you say DC free! 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 Yes, thank you all so much. I am a third-generation Washingtonian, a proud daughter of the district, and a council member representing Ward 4. country where we stand as a district and as district leaders. And so there's some things I want to make sure is clear to our elected leaders across this country. This city, our city, is beautiful. D.C. is a sanctuary city. It is a city that embraces, not excludes. It is a home to black families who have been here for generations, to immigrant families who came here seeking safety and opportunity, to federal workers, to service workers, to transit workers, to artists, to educators, people who have built their lives and their communities here. That's who we are. We are a city that believes deeply and unapologetically in a world where every person's needs are met and every person can thrive. We are a city that believes in fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution, rights that are not conditional, not negotiable, and not reserved only for a few. That is the D.C. I come from. That is the D.C. I represent. But what we have seen in these last 3 weeks have been more devastating. It has been chilling to the bone. We have watched this fascist regime, make no mistake about it, we have watched this fascist regime trample the constitutional rights that every person in this country should be able to count on. We have listened as they have tried to rewrite the story of our city and this country and black history, but we will not let them erase the truth. And we need the rest of the country to understand, truly understand what is happening on our streets, what we are witnessing, the breakdown of the very legal and constitutional protections that are supposed to define this nation. This regime has tried to intimidate and terrorize us, to break our spirit. They want us to believe we are powerless, that our rights be suspended at will, that due process, the First and Fourth Amendments, equal protection under the law can be ignored. And let's be clear, they chose D.C. for a reason. This city is home to more than 700,000 residents, Americans who live without full constitutional representation. And without statehood, we are vulnerable to federal overreach. We've been sounding the alarms. My ancestors have been sounding the alarms. People who are sitting right here have been sounding the alarms for decades. We need statehood to protect our rights and our people. And that call has been ignored by both parties. And now, it's not just D.C. residents who will pay the price. It's the country and the Constitution itself. And the price is steep. I've seen it with my own eyes. Tanks in front of Union Station, masked armed agents, unidentifiable, roaming our neighborhoods. No badges, no names, no constitutionality, no accountability. Every single day, our communities are being terrorized by federal forces on our streets in direct violation of the Constitution. And every day, my neighbors in Ward 4 are watching their rights shredded before their eyes. We've seen parents ripped from their child's arms on their ways to school without a warrant, without probable cause. Which party is the party of families? Because I don't see anybody sticking up and standing for our families who are being destroyed. Food delivery workers pulled from his car by masked men. No explanation, no legal authority. Working. What's this American dream you keep talking about, but not allowing people to have as they work to provide for their families? Child care providers, our most vulnerable, taking care of our children. Every single one of our children in this country who need our child care workers to to survive and thrive. Being snatched, being taken, being approached while caring for our babies. That is what is happening on our streets in this country. Landscapers working, taken from jobs, no charges, no access to counsel. Federal officers targeting our beautiful black youth here in the District of Columbia. Violating their rights to safety, to movement, to simply exist in public space. That's what's happening to our black youth here in the District of Columbia. People, our people, being taken without cause, without legal justification, without explanation, snatched off the streets and disappeared. These are not isolated incidents, I want to be clear. They are systemic, intentional, unconstitutional, and cruelty is the point. American citizens being detained without cause. Permanent residents showing their valid documents and still being taken. Peaceful workers and parents and young people, people simply trying to live their lives, are being stripped of their constitutional rights. That is not what D.C. stands for. This is not what D.C. wants. This is not what D.C. welcomes. This is not what D.C. appreciates. This is not who D.C. is as a city, and this is not what we are going to stand for. But if the last few weeks have taught us anything, it's what D.C. is made of. We don't cower. We organize. We resist. We know the value of our rights, and we will make that value known. And that is what we are going to continue to do. So as I said before, this is the capital city. If we fall, this country falls. This is not just D.C.'s fight. This is America's fight. So get in this fight with us and free D.C. When I say hands off, you say D.C. Hands off. Hands off. Hands off. Hands off. Thank you.
Let's get that going. Janice for mayor. Janice for mayor. Janice for mayor. Janice for mayor. All right, Council Member Janice Lewis George. Thank you. Next up, I am proud to introduce Amy Fisher and Cookie with DC Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cookie, and I am proud to be a core organizer with Colectivo de Familias Migrantes. Buenas tardes a todos. Es mi orgullo estar aquí y representar el Colectivo de Familias Migrantes. Colectivo is a multilingual and multicultural political home for migrant families across the district. For generations, immigrant communities have enriched the culture of Washington, D.C., from uptown to east of the river. Today, Muriel Bowser and the military occupation has tried erasing us from our home. Our vibrant culture is now of muffled worries, of silent prayers, and hopeful desires of reunification. The silence of our absence echoes through the corridors of our district. We see them creeping into our neighborhoods, silently tearing our families apart, instilling fear and muffling our voices. Yet here we are, resilient and brave, our heads held high against the deportation monster created to disappear us. One thing is certain, Washington, D.C. continues to be a sanctuary and home to millions of immigrants. Washington, D.C. is our home. El colectivo de familias migrantes es un hogar político, multilingüe y multicultural para familias migrantes en todo el distrito. Durante generaciones, las comunidades inmigrantes han enriquecido la cultura de Washington, D.C. Desde el norte de la ciudad hasta el este del río, hoy Muriel Bowser y la ocupación militar han tratado de borrarnos de nuestro hogar. Nuestra vibrante cultura ahora está llena de preocupaciones silenciosas, oraciones calladas y deseos esperanzados de reunificación. El silencio de nuestra ausencia resuena a través de los pasillos de nuestro distrito. Los vemos asomándose en nuestros vecindarios, desgarrando silenciosamente a nuestras familias, infundiendo miedo y apagando nuestras voces. Sin embargo, aquí estamos, resilientes y valientes, con la cabeza en alto, contra el monstruo de la deportación que quieren usar para hacernos desaparecer. Una cosa es segura, Washington, D.C. sigue siendo un santuario. Washington, D.C. es nuestro hogar.
I'm Amy, and I'm a core organizer with Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid. Migrant Solidarity Mutual Aid was founded about 3.5 years ago to respond to yet another racist politician trying to use D.C. to play political games with migrant lives. In 2022, when Texas Governor Abbott began busing people seeking safety from the border to D.C., hundreds of D.C. residents came out to ensure that every person was welcomed with dignity, while Mayor Bowser was nowhere to be seen. And now that our immigrant friends and neighbors are under attack, the D.C. community has taken action yet again to protect our neighbors. The MISMA Emergency Response Hotline has received upwards of 2,500 calls from community members calling to report enforcement activity to protect our friends and neighbors since the occupation began. And guess who's not here to help again? El Grupo de Ayuda Mutua en Solidaridad con Migrantes se fundó hace aproximadamente 3 años y medio para responder a otro político racista que intentó utilizar D.C. para jugar juegos políticos con las vidas de los migrantes. En 2022, cuando el gobernador de Texas, Greg Abbott, comenzó a enviar los autobuses con personas que buscaban seguridad desde la frontera a D.C., cientos de residentes de D.C. salieron para asegurar que cada persona fuera bienvenida con dignidad, mientras que la alcaldesa Bowser no estaba en ningún lado. Y ahora que nuestros amigos y vecinos de inmigrantes están siendo atacadas, la comunidad de D.C. ha tomado medidas una vez más para proteger a nuestros vecinos. La línea de emergencia de respuesta de MISMA ha recibido más de 2.500 llamadas de miembros de la comunidad que llaman para informar sobre actividades de la policía y migra para proteger a nuestros amigos y vecinos. Y adivina quién no está para ayudar. It is clear that Mayor Bowser has never found a bus that she won't throw the immigrant community under. Whether it was denying shelter to immigrant families and forcing them to sleep on the streets during hypothermia season, to trying to reverse D.C. sanctuary laws, and now supporting the mass arrests and disappearances of immigrants from our communities. Está claro que la alcaldesa Bowser nunca ha encontrado un autobús bajo el que no arrojar la comunidad migrante, ya sea negando refugio a las familias migrantes y obligándolas a dormir en la calle durante la temporada de hipotermia, tratando de revertir las leyes de santuario de D.C. y ahora apoyando los arrestos masivos y desapariciones de inmigrantes de nuestras comunidades.
Too many of our family members have disappeared. morphed into a hopeful prayer for reunification. Too many of us are afraid to leave our homes, to go to work, to go to school, to seek help because we know when we leave home for the day, we may not come home. Even before the start of the occupation, we watched how Deporter-in-Chief Muriel Bowser conspires with racists like Stephen Miller in the White House to terrorize our Black, brown, and indigenous communities across D.C. We have seen how MPD and ICE are working hand in hand to set up checkpoints, racially profile us and our fathers, stopping and searching us with their dirty and sweaty hands, touching our bodies without consent. We see them march through our neighborhoods to round up our community in cages. Demasiados de nuestros miembros de la familia han desaparecido, convirtiéndose en una oración esperanzada por un milagro de reunificación. Incluso antes del inicio de la ocupación, hemos visto como la deportadora Muriel Bowser conspira con racistas como Stephen Miller. Son organizaciones como Colectivo de Familias Migrantes y MESMA que están todos los días en las calles.
Move back, please.
Out of your homes and into the streets. Out of your homes and into the streets. Out of your homes and into the streets. Out of your homes and into the streets.
Out of your homes and into the streets.
Out of your homes and into the streets.
Out of your homes and into the streets.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Free.
Suffering of our neighbors. Some have already been deported or transferred to detention facilities across the country. All are fighting for their lives and their dignity. Y mientras estamos indignados por las formas en que las personas están siendo arrestadas de nuestras calles, también debemos estar indignados por lo que está sucediendo a las personas después de haber sido arrestados. Nuestros amigos y vecinos que son arrestados por ICE están siendo desaparecidos y detenidos incomunicados en una oficina de ICE, aproximadamente una hora de aquí en Chantilly, Virginia, donde las personas son mantenidas durante días sin camas, sin mantas, apiñadas en una habitación tan llena que tienen que dormir a pie. Los dan un solo gorrito al día y no tienen agua potable, más allá un grifo sobre un inodoro compartido, sin acceso a abogados o familiares, y desde allí las personas están siendo enviadas a una enorme máquina de detención de migrantes que prolonga y se beneficia del sufrimiento de nuestros vecinos. Algunos ya han sido deportados o transferidos a instalaciones de detención en todo el país. Todos están luchando por sus vidas y su dignidad.
¡Chinga la mira! Nos vamos porque nos gritan. Free DC. Make some noise, y'all. We about to get out of here. Y'all see the rain coming down. When I say free DC, y'all say free DC. Free DC. Free DC. Free DC. Free DC. Y'all, this occupation is not liberating our people. We must stay together. I am Kelsey Adams. I serve as one of the co-founders of Free DC, the executive director of Long Live Go-Go and organizing director at DC Vote. We are remaining clear on what the answer to this situation is. It is DC statehood. I know y'all have heard it time and time again today as y'all been outside on Freedom Plaza marching from Malcolm X all the way down here. But guys, that is the solution to our problem. I don't want to take up too much time. God has just made his rain come down. So as the rain is coming down, we're going to wash away the occupation, and we're going to lead with autonomy for D.C. And that autonomy looks like the 51st state. It looks like the passing of H.R. 51 and S-51 in our nation's Congress. We are no longer standing on the back lines of what is happening in our country. We are no longer asking, but we are demanding that we have full autonomy, and we are demanding that D.C. become the 51st
51st state. I hope that everybody gets home safely. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
So I want to make sure everybody gets home safety. We are our own safety. We are our public safety. So always keep that in mind. Travel in pairs. Stay together. Follow Free DC on all social media. Long live GoGo and DC Vote. Please, 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 if you got folks outside of DC, tell them about our fight for DC statehood, because our message, rain or not, we will remain vigilant in our demand for DC to become the 51st state. Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
When I say DC, y'all say statehood. DC!
Statehood!
DC!